Welcome everybody to today's talk. I'd like to return today to a topic that I covered some videos ago with regards to the cultivation of sensitivity in our practice. And what I said in that video was essentially that we can adapt our practice each and every day, our mat practice, based on becoming sensitive to how we feel as we come into our practice. So what that means, if we wake up and we're feeling tired, or we wake up and we're feeling energetic, or we're feeling low or high, whatever it might be, we can adapt our practice in order that it is the most beneficial practice for us to do on that day. To give a very short example, if we're feeling really tired, we may not want to do the usual energetic practice that we do, and therefore we might do more breathing or meditation. We might spend more time in child's pose or forward bend, whatever it might be. But that's only as a result of becoming more sensitive and aware of the state in which we find ourselves. Today, I'd like to just go a little bit deeper with this idea of sensitivity. One of the things that I notice a lot, both in myself and in people that I'm teaching, is that after some time, when they've been practicing yoga on a daily basis, let's say for 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks or longer, a lot of people start to come back and report that in some ways they're starting to notice more negative feelings or inside themselves. They're starting to notice that they're more tired, or they're starting to notice that they've got more lethargy. They're just starting to notice different things that aren't necessarily what you might classically describe as positive. And I do always say this to people when they're starting their yoga journey, is not to think that it's all going to be honey and roses. That actually, once we start to go deeper, we are going to unearth experiences, feelings, thoughts, emotions, and so forth that may not feel so comfortable. And one of the reasons for this is because as we begin to deepen our ability to be more subtly aware of that which is going on within us, the sensations, the thoughts, the emotions, how long they come and go, how long they stay for instance, we actually become more sensitive. And as a result of that, these things can appear to grow larger in size or larger in scale. So in the past, we may have had certain thoughts going through our mind, or certain emotions that were presenting themselves as sensations in the body. But because we were so externally focused, and because we didn't have a practice which allowed us to look within and to notice what's going on, we just simply didn't really pay much attention. They didn't pop up on the radar so easily. But the minute that we start to turn our minds inwards, we start to become much more aware of the subtle landscape of sensations, emotions, feelings, and thoughts that is coursing through our system moment to moment. And therefore, as a result of that, due to that sensitivity, we notice it more. And so therefore, in the early stages of our practice, we might actually begin to doubt our practice, because we may think, actually, I'm doing this practice and it's actually kind of making me feel worse. But the reality of the situation is slightly different, which is that although at first it might seem daunting or even overwhelming, we might say, to suddenly experience more intense emotions, or to notice our thoughts, or to notice our sensations becoming exacerbated, if you like, or intensified, actually over time what happens is that our sensitivity to those things allows us to respond in the moment to those things that are arising, and help to just calm them, or help to settle them, or to know what to do in that moment. So for example, we may notice through our practice that it's easier to identify when we're becoming triggered, whether that be triggered to be angry or upset or jealous or whatever it might be, because we begin to notice that there is a change in the landscape of sensation within us. And for instance, we may find that our stomach starts to get more tense. We might find that our chest gets tight, or our throat gets dry, whatever it might be. But we begin to piece together these sensations and group them to know that, oh, actually, I'm beginning to feel this way. That must mean that this particular emotion or feeling is coming through me. And rather than in the untrained mind, where we might just suddenly let this thing go because we haven't even noticed it, and before we know it, we find ourselves shouting at someone, or just doing something that clearly isn't going to be helpful for ourselves or those around us. In the situation where we've got no insight into what's arising within us, we just naturally go from the feeling arising into that state and then the action. However, as we cultivate more and more sensitivity to our inner state, we begin to notice, I can see that those things are arising. Maybe I need to do something about this right now. Maybe I need to take a deeper breath. Maybe I need to remove myself from this situation if that seems like the best thing to do. Maybe I just need to place my hand on my belly to get me into connection with sensations down there and to begin relaxing. Maybe I just need to stretch my shoulders, whatever it might be. Maybe I just need to go and take a quiet moment. Any of these things, when we are aware that we can do them early enough in the process of being triggered, can help us to avert the inevitable and help to change the course of actions, behaviors, and responses that arise, all because we are becoming more sensitive to our inner state. And this is particularly personal to me because, for various reasons, I have ended up as an adult with a slightly oversensitive nervous system, we might say. So I can get triggered by certain things, and I immediately can feel within me that I've been triggered and that certain reactions or certain cascades of events are going on inside me. Now, in the past, unfortunately, what that meant was that I could lose my temper very easily, I could get overly emotional, and this is one of the reasons why I came to yoga in the first place, was actually because I realized that I needed to find some way of dealing with these strong emotions and being triggered. However, what I notice now at a much, much earlier stage, it's not that I don't get triggered, but I'm so sensitive to and conscious of the fact that I've been triggered and the sensations and feelings that come with it, that I immediately know, okay, right, I'm getting into the red zone. What am I going to do? I need to slow down. I need to maybe take some moments away. All of the things I just suggested, I apply to myself in the moment. And what I generally find now is that 95% of the time, I don't end up acting on that trigger or reacting to the trigger. I take some time and then I express myself as needed to the people around me in a way that is calm and much more peaceful. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I get it right all the time. But through that practice of cultivating inner sensitivity, we slowly begin to be able to take control, if you like, of the space in between the thought or the trigger and the reaction to that. And that space is essentially the space of freedom that arises with practice. So don't underestimate the power of asana, of movement, to put ourselves into connection with the sensations of our body, to truly learn experientially what the difference is, or the differences between tension and relaxation, how to differentiate between a feeling that there is kind of natural tension in the body and something that has been triggered by a thought or by an external circumstance. And gradually what happens is that that sensitivity and our ability to observe and to notice creeps with us off the mat into our day-to-day lives, with the benefits of everything that I've just said, meaning that we can notice when we're being triggered, we can notice when those sensations arise, and we can actually, through practice, do something about it. So please do reflect on this. Have a think about how that may affect you in your own life. And of course, in order to reap the rewards, if you like, of being able to become more sensitive in this way, don't forget to practice as often as you can. So thanks for joining me once again. Take care. I hope you found this useful. Please do subscribe to this channel or like the content, leave a comment, and even let us know what other kinds of topics you'd like covered on this channel. Thanks for joining. Namaste.